Hey guys, Bix Weir, Rotor.com. Tonight is Easter evening. Tomorrow is the new week. Everybody thinking that everything changes after Easter. We'll find out, right? I think it already did change. I think it changed at the beginning of the year. Nothing will ever go back to the way it was. So when we go back to work is going to be an issue going forward because most people will not have the same type of environment to go back to. And I'm surprised that people aren't thinking about that. They're thinking about, okay, when's it safe to go back? It's never going to be safe to go back, but we're going to go back to do, but what are we going to do is the question. Here's an article, 8 reasons to end the lockdowns as soon as possible. Now, just the end of that sentence, as soon as possible, means maybe they're not really thinking this out. If they think there's any way we'll ever get back to the way we were, there's no way. Those industries are gone. The banking industry is destroyed. The travel industry. I mean, you name the industries. I'll get to that in a second. But this is the article. This post does not deny the effectiveness of social distancing, blah, 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 blah. We've already flattened the curve. All right? So that should be clear to everybody. Yes, what Trump's team wanted to do is flatten the curve, and that's exactly what they did. Did it destroy industries? Absolutely. Would it have those industries been destroyed anyway? Probably. Was it a viable future to rig every market such that the criminal system stayed in place with the rigging? No, it was not. It never was. So it was all a question of when it was going to fail. And the speed of the failure even surprised me because we're not going back. There's not a chance. Anyway, check this out. Here's how many reasons did they say? 9 reasons? 8 reasons. 1, we've already flattened the curve. Everybody should know that. It was a good move. I think it was a good move to do the lockdown. I don't think you had to lock down everybody, but they did. They didn't know, right? China did not lock down in the first 2 months, and they had millions die. So is it good the U.S. lockdown? It did, in my belief. We've got the hospital capacity. Obviously, they lied about those numbers, but we have the hospital capacity to take care of the stuff in the future, as long as we don't all go back outside at the same time. It'll go in stages. The second thing is economic collapse and unemployment are destroying families. That's true, although that can't be reversed. That cannot be reversed. We can't go back outside and all of a sudden everything's back to normal, because it is never going to be back to normal. Don't forget, the banks are leveraged 10 or 15 or 30 to 1. Unless we continue to bail out every day for the rest of our lives, we'll never go back to normal. And that, truthfully, that has been the normal. It's been people live paycheck to paycheck, banks live bailout to bailout. That's been going on since 1913. And that's unsustainable. I love that word unsustainable. With market rigging and market manipulation, everything is sustainable until you stop clicking that damn mouse. You hear me, Steve Mnuchin? But now there's no way, unless everything starts up better than it was before, and it was not good before. That was all market rigging. So do we really want to go back to the world of market rigging? I don't even think we can. There's no solvent bank right now without trillions more going to the banking system. Like mini trillions. Try 20 to 30 trillion. Jobless claims obviously through the roof. Jobless claims as a percentage of the labor force through the roof. I mean, this will just get worse. It's not like, these restaurants go back and open their doors and say, oh, thank God. And there'll be like 2 days where people go. And then all of a sudden, hey, I don't have money to spend in a restaurant. I can't risk going out. This thing's still lingering. When they open up the economy, the infection rate and the death rate will start to climb again. But it'll be modulated. We have to go back to work, but we don't know what we're going to do. So it's going to be a little silly out there. We have not saturated the healthcare system. That should be obvious to everybody who's driven by a hospital. There are a lot of people who have put off operations and surgeries and stuff like that. So, yeah, there'll be more and more people. It will be strained for the coming years. But no, we haven't, COVID didn't, all that bullshit about, Oh, New York's like a war zone. That was CNN. Those guys trying to play it up. Um, so we can handle it. We can handle the rise, and if we do need ventilators and all that, we can handle that. All right. Suicide may kill as many people as COVID-19 this year. Probably. You know, when people see their lives destroyed, their business. The problem is that we didn't give people a fighting chance. We should have said, okay, we recommend everybody go on lockdown, but we know that we live in a free society, and if you feel that you're up for it, go out there and be part of the people who risk it. I mean, that should be their decision, not the government's, because this isn't going away. It's not like this solved anything. The only idea behind the lockdown was to flatten the curve, not to end the virus or anything. The virus will be with us for a long time. It is a bioweapon. I hope everybody understands that. All right, mortality was likely overestimated. True to a point, but remember the early estimates of mortality rate were assuming that everybody was out there doing the same thing they were doing and not lock down the entire world that they didn't even think they could do, but they did it. So mortality will continue, and yeah, we'll be living with this for years. Probably be worse next year because people say, hey, nothing happened last time and we didn't lock down, and voila, you're going to have more people that stay out there. Although they will say, hey, our economy got destroyed, and that's why we're in a depression or worse, if it gets that far. Children are almost no risk from the disease, which is good. PPE was limited, but is now becoming more available. That's the personal protective equipment. Yeah, everybody's got masks now and gloves and all that stuff. That's great. And I absolutely recommend that people continue to wear that based on your own belief, and don't, as long as the government doesn't force any of this bullshit on us and take more controls. When we break out of this thing, when we break out of our lockdown, we have to fight for our same liberties and freedoms that we had before. It's not the government to tell us what not to do. If you don't want to be subjected to it, don't go outside. That's your deal. We can't count on the government for everything. Authorities should show clear evidence regarding the benefits of an indefinite lockdown. There isn't clear evidence. People should be out there now. If you feel like, some people, you'll be risking your lives. If you have a compromised immune system and you want to go back to work, go for it. It's your life. That's the risk that you should decide, not your government. And there we have it. I did want to show you this. This is the percentage added to gross domestic product in the United States. This is 2018, but it's pretty similar, except finance, real estate, and rental leases are higher now, probably 25%. If you look at this graph and think about how much this lockdown has affected each one of these industries, real estate, finance, insurance, rentals, and leasing, huge. Those are leveraged industries. They are destroyed. They've had the biggest bailouts yet, but they're going to need a lot more. Business and finance services is 12%. So it's about 25%, basically finance, including housing. Professional and business services, those are so intertwined with the first one. The finance and leasing and real estate. I mean, those are absolutely intertwined. Probably half of that goes to that. So I'd say that's 30%. And those industries are dead because they were highly levered. Basically, you could take this whole map and flip it on its side for the future. Look what's at the very bottom. Agriculture, forestry, fishing, hunting, utilities, mining, transportation, warehouse. All that stuff is going to be the most important stuff in going from here on forward in year zero. We're not going to have leverage lending. We're not going to have a derivative market. All that has been destroyed. They haven't told you yet, but it's going to become obvious once we go back out, crawl out of our little holes, and everybody, Trump will say, hey, yeah, we're right back on track and everything's going to be great. And all of a sudden, the banks need more bailouts the next week and the next week. Real estate prices drop 50, 70, 80% because everybody's lost their jobs. Because so many jobs will not come back. Restaurants, I would guess half are be gone. From when lockdown started to give it about a month after we allow people to go outside, I say half the restaurants will be closed down. And bars. Do people really want to go out and spend 5 times as much on booze that they could if they stayed home? Those days are long gone. This is going to completely flip on its head. Construction, if you got no housing market, you got no construction market. You might have construction in remodels and things like that because houses are depreciating assets and you got to be fixed up everywhere. Retail, trade, wholesale, manufacturing. Now, manufacturing is going to have to go up, but that's a slow process. Right now, it's about 12%. That's a slow process. We need the machine tools and the equipment and the foundations and the buildings to start the manufacturing. It's going to be 5 to 10 years before we can start building computers like they do in China right now. And no, there will be no trade with China. It should be obvious to everybody. Again, China and the U.S. are at odds, big time, especially after this. And the Chinese just don't have the capacity. And they're dealing with the COVID virus. They're going to be dealing with it for a long, long time. The people are ready to revolt. They should. So take this, the GDP of the United States, all these industries, and flip it on its head. If you want to make money in the future, look into agriculture, forestry, fishing, and hunting, utilities, mining, transportation, warehouse, arts and entertainment. That's going to go up too. Because all debt is going to be gone when this thing flips on its head. That's the beauty of the finance part going away, the criminal inverse pyramid of criminal financing, of leverage lending, of rehypothecation of assets. That's all going to go away. So there'll be no debt. And that'll be a really good thing. That'll give people the ability to do stuff that they want to do and not that they have to do. A lot of the rich will be very poor. And a lot of the poor will feel very rich because they're going to have to be a reallocation of assets or money in America. And every other country will decide what they want to do. The U.S., I think they're going to stick to the original Road to Rooted documents, which said they were going to allocate money according to Social Security balances. They'll give everybody a stipend, like a base case monthly thing that they invent out of thin air. It'll probably be a Fed coin. And it will probably fail unless they structure it correctly. Decentralized, a capped amount, all that stuff. All the things that make Bitcoin great. If any country wants their cryptocurrency that they invent for their country to be accepted and viable, you better put some parameters around how much you can print from thin air, or it won't work. People don't need shit like that anymore. The coming collapse is the product of that unlimited money printing. So yes, the world's going to be different. So when you think about the 8 reasons to go back outside and start up again, think about what industry am I going to be in that's going to be able to start up? Right? What industry? Right in here. Finance, real estate, rental, leasing, professional service, and business services, I think are going to be at the very bottom. Those industries are gone. They ruled the roost for way too long only because of the fractional reserve nature of the banks were giving out free money because they printed money at the banking level, not the Fed level. A little bit at the Fed level, a little bit at the government level, but the big money printing happens when loans are created for a house exam or a jet plane. Banks were given the power to create money out of thin air. If they got a $1 deposit, they can lend out 10. That's where money was created. Before that $1 was deposited in the bank, those 9 extra dollars were not available. That's where they were created. And that's what people have to wake up to. That's how money is created. Fractional reserve lending. It's just like rehypothecation. It's just like leverage. It's just like derivative. Farce. It is ridiculous. And how this will all go down, I don't know. It's going to be freaking chaotic. But it'll be interesting when they do let people out of lockdown and they go back to the jobs and they find out, oh my God, there's no demand anymore. What's going on? I can't make the same amount of money I did. Oh my God, the tourism industry is dead, which affects the airline industry, which affects the restaurants and service industry. You name it. It's all over. And we get to start something new. The good thing about all this is all the debt will go away. There will be no more debt. It's a good thing. Of course, there'll be a lot of assets that get wiped out too. But we can start fresh. No, I don't think Trump will allow that to happen right away. He's got this money rigging game with Steve Mnuchin that he thinks, oh yeah, let's get back to work. Let's get America back to work, and let's lie and cheat on every single hand he plays. Although his Easter message for you Road to Ruta members on the private road, his Easter message gave some hints about gold and silver, which was really interesting. And if you are on the silver path and you guys do own silver, we are at the end of the tunnel right now. So watch for the rest of this month and the rest of next month for the silver to finally break free. And it won't be, you won't see over $50 silver on the comic. Comics will shut down before that happens. Why? Because they lose $1 billion, banksters lose $1 billion for every dollar silver goes up. It's their naked short position. Lots of exciting stuff to come this week, but hey, all you guys just said Q and Trump and those guys were going to free everybody at Easter or the 10 days before Easter. The good thing is tomorrow everybody's going to be free. And if it doesn't happen, then I guess you got that wrong. We all get it wrong, right? Hey, it was a nice try. It was a good thought. But I do think the good guys are working on it. I don't trust Q all that much these days. Ever since General Kelly left, I don't know. Just doesn't ring as true as it used to. That's just me, though. That's Road to Ruta. If you want to learn more about Road to Ruta, go to roadruta.com and watch the first 2 videos. Discovering the Road to Ruta and Golden Oldies to the Crypto Future. And yes, you're going to need cryptos. Unfortunately, the virus thing, the ending of globalization is going to slow down the manufacturing of computers and cell phones, so it's going to slow down the adaptation of cryptos. But on the flip side, they're printing money like it's going out of style, and a lot of that money is going to flow into the cryptos. So you might see huge jumps in cryptos and huge crashes in cryptos as Steve Mnuchin and Trump click their little mouse to destroy any alternative to the unbacked fiat system. There you go. Very exciting week going forward, right? The whole new world, according to those who believe the Q stuff. I'm excited. Maybe some of it came true. We'll find out this week, won't we? Maybe not. If it's not, we're not going to give up. Keep fighting. The future belongs to us, not Dick Allgaier's dark cabal. That's all I have to say. This is Bix, roadruta.com. Talk to you later.